say it means a lot for us to win at home, and I thought our crowd has been unbelievable the last two games, and it really made a difference. Our guys fed off that energy, and so, like I said, it's a shared experience when you get into it like that, and you could feel them, especially that last drive.
You guys looked like you were kind of down for the count, and then you come back and you just kind of take us through.
No, never down for the count.
Okay.
Yeah, when you see the Atlanta Falcons out there, we'll never be down for the count. We're gonna fight until that clock hits zero. So that's what I'm proud of this team and everyone on this team for not giving up, and just keep going out there and just fight until that clock hits zero.
Welcome in, Falcons fans. It's your boy Bryce Lewis back at it again for more Atlanta Falcons content as the Falcons coming off an exhilarating victory over the Green Bay Packers yesterday, coming back down 2 scores to win 25-24. Desmond Ridder shows up in the fourth quarter, and also Bijan Robinson. He's just insane. We will talk about it, break it down all here on the Falcons recap right here with your boy. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The Falcons, that game yesterday was kind of a tale of two halves. Obviously there was a lot of things that happened in that game. Ridder threw that pick early, kind of wasn't his fault. Got hit on the throw. If you've played or if you've seen the game, sometimes when you get hit when you're trying to make a throw, that can affect the accuracy or the ball when you try to release it from the hand. So Desmond threw a pick early, was a little shaky early, threw almost 2 more picks that the Green Bay dropped. Obviously, this is something I tweeted about in the game yesterday. You can follow me on Twitter, Bryce_2K. And said that he needs to be better. And that's just fair criticism. He needs to be better in that situation. But he also bounced back. He made some good throws. He seemed a little bit more comfortable than he did in week 1 against Carolina. And I think that carried over into the fourth quarter where he scored that rushing touchdown. When he scored that rushing touchdown, and then they were coming back from break, they did the kickoff and they showed Desmond on the sideline and he was barking. That's when I knew what was about to happen. When Desmond Ridder was barking, I knew what was about to happen. When he is confident, you start to see it reflect in his play. And I think you saw that yesterday with Desmond in the game. And then, like I said, Bijan was incredible. Like, Bijan is so quick. He made Green Bay Packers defenders fold like chairs multiple times during the game. He was a guy who really, I think, solidified why we took him with that 8th pick in the draft. I know a lot of people were not sure about drafting Bijan because of that, but I was one of the people who said, why not? Why not draft Bijan with the 8th pick? Because if he can give what he gave us yesterday for the rest of the season, and obviously this is assuming he can stay healthy as well, there is absolutely no reason why he won't win Rookie of the Year and could put himself in contention for Offensive Player of the Year. He's dynamic in the passing game or running game. You can see he's powerful but elusive. I know a lot of people compare him to like a Marshall Faulk 2.0 or even a LaDainian Thomas. I don't know what you guys think. Do you think he's LaDainian Thomas or Marshall Faulk, or is there someone else that he reminds you of? But overall, he's been great. I mean, people are already talking about on Twitter, is he one of the best backs in the league already? Top 2, top 3 backs. Is that far-fetched to say? And then obviously he was a very big part of them being able to come back because they were able to establish an effective running game because of Bijan, which also helped in the play action with Desmond. And then also the defense. The defense, man, they went through their issues. They had their problems. Especially that second, third quarter, it seemed like they couldn't stop Jordan Love. It seemed like Jordan Love could get whatever he wanted on that defense. And I felt like there was some things defensively that I wasn't a fan of. I know Trey Flowers in the secondary is probably our weakness out of the corners, and everybody in our secondary, they attacked him yesterday. I know a lot of people were upset about him playing. Why didn't they see Clark Phillips? Why didn't they see D'Alford? Why didn't they see Mike Hughes? I think they brought Mike Hughes in for like a play or so during that game and everything. But at the same time, I will give Trey this. He did fight. He did compete. He maybe isn't, like I said, you don't want him to be your long-term starting corner at that number 2 spot. But overall, still in that regard, in that situation, I think he did a commendable job. And listen, in the last play of the game, he was involved in that pass breakup where the Green Bay receiver dropped the pass to end the game for the Falcons. So overall, I think, we all hope Jeff Okudah gets back next week. I would expect Jeff Okudah, especially because he's playing the Lions next week. That's his former team. I expect him to want to come back for that game because that's just a big game for him and probably personally as well. So they all kind of, this entire defense kind of figured things out in that fourth quarter. Jordan Love did not do anything in that fourth quarter. Had 3 and outs, really couldn't move the ball. I think pass rush, which has been a big issue for this team, I think they kind of figured out a little bit. I've said this and I've made a tweet about this too. I was really confused with defensive line rotations. Why was Calais Campbell playing defensive end on third down? Why was he the outside rusher? The only rusher with athleticism we have in those passing situations, you have Calais, Grady, David, and Bud, was Bud. And especially when Jordan Love scrambled, I think it was in the second quarter, and Calais was the guy in coverage and he was slow. I was like, why is Arnold Ebiketie not playing? In the second half, Arnold Ebiketie got more snaps. And I felt like he was very effective with every snap he played, especially on that last drive that Green Bay had. He was in the backfield 2 to 3 times when Jordan Love was dropping back to pass. I think if this pass rush will reach the potential that they want to become, or just become a better pass rush in general, I feel like you have to play Arnold Ebiketie more. He was drafted to be your primary pass rusher to develop into that guy. I will also say this for Ryan Nielsen in that situation. I understand that he's a first-time defensive coordinator. He's learning how to be a defensive coordinator at the highest level. He's still learning his personnel and how to best effectively use everybody. And sometimes, as a coach, as some people that happen, sometimes you outthink yourself. Sometimes you want Calais on the field, but then you also understand he's 35, 36. He only needs to be playing between 30 and 40 snaps a game. I believe he only played 29 in this last game. I could be wrong. It could be 39. Ebiketie played 41. I can't particularly remember right now. I saw him earlier, but he played around the amount of snaps that he probably should be playing for the game. And I feel like if you use him, again, I don't like him as a defensive end. I'm sure if I could see if you're playing like a run heavy team, maybe that's why you go with Calais out there with Grady in them. But if not, and you're playing a team that likes to pass the ball a little bit, I'm definitely putting Calais in the interior and swapping him out with David Amimata and Grady Jarrett and even Tyquan Graham. Trying to get that interior pressure, trying to push forward, trying to get after the quarterback. And then, like I said, you like Caden Ellis, you like Bud Dupree, you like Arnold Ebiketie, and then even, I know D'Angelo hasn't really gotten many defensive snaps, but even maybe let D'Angelo Malone get some reps out there. Guys like Zach Harrison and things like that to help with that pass rush. So, for me, the fact they were able to figure things out, they were able to kind of establish what they needed to do in that fourth quarter to get those stops, to help them be able to get the ball back to the offense, and the offense being able to take advantage of those possessions that their defense was able to give them after struggling for 2 to 3 quarters. That was big. And then you also got to think about it. The Falcons left with about 9 points on the field. First one was the first drive when they were down at the 1 after the Kyle Pitts pass interference, and Arthur Smith got too cute and tried to pass it instead of just running the football. Then, obviously, when the Falcons were about to tie the game up before half, and great young Wei Koo missed the extra point. And then, obviously, the one that everybody was pissed off about, Matt Collins, to me, it looked like he was down. He got his toes in and then stepped out of bounds. And they said that it's not a touchdown, but I think everybody named Mama knows that probably should have been a touchdown. They gave an explanation about it. The explanation didn't make sense. Well, if he was able to keep his toes down for a certain period of time, then it would count. But because he couldn't keep it down for a certain period of time, then it doesn't count, and he has to do it in all one motion. It's like, it feels like y'all just kind of made that up. But I mean, that's that. I mean, we can talk about the NFL rule book and things that are not fully explained well and everything like that. But that was their explanation why that was not a touchdown. But I think everybody knows Matt Collins should have that touchdown. But overall, the Falcons left about 9 points on the board. So if they had got those 9 points, this game easily could have been 35-24. Actually, my math is terrible. 34-24. And so, overall, I think, there were some good things. Like I said, Ritter showed that he was a gritty guy. One thing about Ritter I've said is that it's not going to be pretty with him. It's not. He is a gritty, resilient guy, but he's not going to make it pretty all the time. He will make some boneheaded decisions. He will sometimes do things that might piss you off. He very much might. But at the same time, in saying all of that, Desmond is going to fight. And that's something that I think you can't coach. That's not something that can be taught. It's something that a player just has to have. And I think in that in and of itself can help you build a respect for him and a respect for what he wants. Because he just wants to be successful. He wants the team to be good. He wants to be good. He wants this team to have success. And as a Falcons fan, you shouldn't be against him for that. Obviously, if you just, want to see more from him, completely understandable. That is completely understandable. Because like I said, he didn't have the greatest start to that game. But after last night, you saw the heart. That should at least mean something to you. Because he stepped up. That's why he was a winner at Cincinnati. Because of that heart, because of that resiliency. And so overall, man, if I'm the Falcons, you're coming out of the game yesterday, you're 2-0. You beat Green Bay. Going to Detroit next week. That's going to be a tough battle. First road game of the season. But it's something to build off of. It's something to grow. And Arthur Smith said this after today. He said, despite being 2-0, we still have a lot more to learn. We still have a lot more to grow. And I mentioned this too. This season is like a journey. We are 2-0 right now. But it's a journey. We are not at the peak of what we are as a roster in terms of the way we're playing. Ritter can be better. Even Bijan might be better. The offensive line can be better. We're getting more chemistry with the receivers. You know what I'm saying? Defense can be better on all three levels. Everybody can be better. This isn't like this is what we are. I don't think there's any position on this team where it's like this is what we are. Every position can get better. So when you have that and you're 2-0 right now, think about what that could mean for this season. Now, I ain't trying to sit out here and say we are Super Bowl bound or anything like that. All I'm saying is that I think this is a different Falcons team. In previous years, the fourth quarter was a terrible quarter for us. The comeback we made yesterday was what teams did to us. And to see the roles reversed in that game on Sunday was big time. Because I think it almost restored faith in this franchise when that happened. And when you have something like that, that in and of itself can make you great. You had guys like Drake London. People were ready to bail on Drake London. Came back against Jair Alexander, considered one of the best cornerbacks in his game. Balled. That's why we took him. People wanted to question we took the wrong receiver. Listen, every receiver is different, but I'm not mad about taking Drake London. People always get mad or tries to make those comparisons. We took the wrong receiver because one guy may be putting up more gaudy numbers. But it's not like our guy is a number 3 receiver and he's a number 1. Drake London's a number 1. He's a star receiver. Why are we mad about having a star receiver? Oh, because he's not a super duper star? Got a star receiver. What's the problem? What's the problem? Like, I think there's just so many things. Like, even Algier, that he did his part. Everybody, I think, did their part. And I think that led to such an exciting victory for this team. And I feel like the Falcons fan base is kind of rejuvenated. Mercedes-Benz was rocking. And the last 2 games have been some of the best home capacities that I've watched on TV for this team in the last few years. And that's big. That's really big. Arthur Smith called a really good game, I think. He called a much better game than he called in week 1. And that's why I said coaches are even still growing. And they're even still learning as well. This is not just a player. The coaches are. And I think you saw that. And so that's why I'm very encouraged. And I look forward to seeing how this team continues to grow going against Detroit. They might lose against Detroit. We don't know. But I'm curious to continue to see the growth of this team moving forward and to see how they can continue to bring this energy that they have brought to this fan base because of the play we've seen. We knew this year, they expect this year to be a competitive winning season. Right now, they're on track to do that. Now they just have to keep it up, continue to get better, and we'll see what happens. So overall, I'm happy. You guys give your thoughts in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Share this with other Falcons fans. Go ahead, Rick and Connect, everything. Appreciate all the support for your boy and everything. And like I said, go Falcons, man. Exciting times, man. Excited to kind of see how things continue to go moving forward as we go against Detroit next week. But it's your boy, Bryce Lewis. We'll see you next time.
What up? We 2-0. Let's get it.
2-0, baby. Let's go, Falcons. Rise up.
Hey, come on, let's rise up. See y'all in a couple weeks. Let's get this next up.